I headed down to my local lumber yard to get some cedar fence pickets. Took these and had to cut off the dog ears on them. I need a flat top and bottom for all of those. That was easy to do. Next, on this first project, I took all the cedar boards I had and put 6 of them straight across from each other. These are 6 foot long. I lined up the bottoms and the top, and I took another scrap piece of cedar fence and I put it at the bottom, and I used brad nails to secure it in place. Once I got the bottom secured, I cut a little bit wider board and put it at the top, again using brad nails to put it in place. As you can see, it's a little crooked, but that's the effect we're going with. Once that's on, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to match another board the same width and height as the top one and mirror it and put it in place. On another project, I took some boards, put them together, and I curved the top and in the middle, and then I used my jigsaw to come in place. You can use any kind of saw you want, but a jigsaw is always the best. Once I get that curved on there, I took a little bit of sandpaper and got the rough edges. Then I turned to some primer. I use a gray primer because it's easy to paint and use. I want to make sure I get this primer on because it allows the paint to stick. Next, on these 2 projects, I use paint, put it on, I put 2 coats, and I got it all on there and let it dry. The next project, I wanted to use stain. I wanted to see if there was going to be a difference on it. Now, again, like I said, cedar is rough and tough, so I want to make sure I use a towel and get it all in there. While all that paint is drying, I took some dowels to go ahead and start cutting out a bunch of pieces for some 3D effect. Again, I also used some other scrap wood and started cutting out some pieces. Once I got all of these cut out, it was time to get them painted. I laid them out, and on these 2 pieces, I'm going to give them an orange paint. Again, using spray paint, it's super easy, and it gives a great coverage. The next one is going to be white. I only had 2 little pieces for that, and I got them all covered, making them look really good. Then I had a bunch of those dowels that I cut, and all the other pieces, I painted those black. What I wanted to do is, while those pieces were drying, I went over and I had to paint a face on one of the projects. This is the big, tall 6-foot one, and I just started using some black paint and started putting in the eyes, eyebrows, and everything like that. I also wanted to put a little mouth on there and a little chin just to give it a cool effect. And this paint only took 1 coat and made it look good. Now, back to the original smaller 2.5-foot project. These are the cutouts that were painted black. I'm going to start putting those on for eyes. 1 little nail to hold it in place while the glue dries. That glue is going to be super strong and it will hold it down, so I'm not filling it with a bunch of nails. And then I'm going to put a little happy face on there. And watch this. Once I get these done, these 2 projects, I got a cool ghost. Now the other one's smiling, but the big one, he knows the assignment. He knows he's there to be spooky. But watch this. This is the 6-foot tall one. I bet you recognize this character. See that slatted board right there? It looks great. But wait, watch this. Once you turn it around, you've got the Grinch. This is a dual-purpose cedar decor. One side is Halloween, the other side is Christmas. It looks great. Now this one is my favorite. This one's only 4 foot tall, but I love it. It's great for autumn and Thanksgiving, and it's a cool looking scarecrow. I added some flowers from Dollar Tree, and those 3D effects are really cool. But once you turn it around, it's also ready for Christmas. With a cool little bow, carrot for a nose, it looks great. All these projects are awesome. Again, dual purpose except for the ghosts. You can turn them around, use them anytime. That way they're not sitting around in storage all throughout the year, but you can use them anytime. I hope this inspired you to build your own cedar fence picket yard decor for Halloween, autumn, and Christmas. Thank you for watching Home Talk, and we'll catch you next time.
Don't pack up those Halloween decorations just yet. If you missed my first video, drill holes in the bottom of each pumpkin pail using a 3/4 inch drill bit. Then spray with flat white paint made specifically for plastic. I sprayed 2 coats which covered the orange. Once the paint had dried, I made a face. I used buttons for eyes and a cork for a nose, hot gluing them into place. For the mouth, I drilled holes in either side and threaded a zip tie through each hole. For arms, I drilled holes in the side of the second pumpkin and inserted medium-sized branches. In my first video, I placed 3-foot rebar posts into my planting pots, securing them using soil and large rocks. Then I laid 2 faux evergreen reeds over the top of the pot for height. I threaded each white pumpkin over the rebar, creating a snowman. To finish, I tied a scarf around the first and second pumpkin. Using things found around my house, this cute little snowman didn't cost me a dime. I hope this inspires you to use your trick-or-treat pails to create your own cute little snowman for your home.
I grabbed a pallet to get my porch ready for Halloween. I used my battery chainsaw to easily cut the edges of the pallet boards. I used a hammer to bang the boards off and then removed the nails. I lined the boards up and used one vertically to create an even space between each board. I drew a pumpkin shape over 4 of the boards and then carefully marked the back of each board so I knew which way was up and which order they went in. I also marked 2 boards to put on the back lengthwise. I sanded the front and edges of each board with 150 grit sandpaper, just enough to reduce slivers. I diluted orange spice-colored acrylic paint with water and painted the sanded surfaces on each board, then immediately wiped the extra paint off with a clean cotton rag. I also painted the back 2 boards. Then I flipped them over with the back side up and spaced them on a flat surface in order, using that 1 extra board as a spacer again. I placed the 2 back pieces on vertically, making sure that all the wood boards were touching it. I used 3/4 inch nails in my 18 gauge brad nailer and secured the boards together, nailing from the back side. I drew out a stem, cut it with my jigsaw, sanded and painted it with watered down woodland brown colored acrylic paint. I wiped the extra off with a rag the same way I did the orange. I used a pencil to draw a face and painted it with black acrylic paint. And now I have 2 super cute jack-o'-lanterns that will never blow out. I hope this inspired you to create your own pallet jack-o'-lantern or pumpkins. Thanks for watching Home Talk and see you next time.